Hello and welcome to Heartbeat Alaska Native News and Native Information. I'm your hostess, Jeannie Green. Heartbeat Alaska is aired across the nation of Canada and across America on reservations, television, as well as across the north and soon to be in Scandinavian countries. On today's program, we travel to the Athbascan village of Nondalton. And Nondalton is situated 200 miles southwest of Anchorage, Alaska. There are many changes taking place in that beautiful village, changes that come from within. I'll be back with Nondalton right after this. After this year's Alaska Federation of Natives Convention, the buzzword around the state of Alaska was wellness. But for the good people of Nondalton, it goes way beyond what you call it. They're taking a hard look at how they can change their life for the better. And recently, at a weekend there, Heartbeat Alaska was invited to share what they learned.
Lots of times I drank in Anchorage, didn't have no place to go. I see my own people come from the village here, go into town. They didn't know me because I was a drunk. They didn't know me because I was a drunk. I had a sister that died of alcohol. Brother that died of alcohol. Another brother that died of alcohol. All these three brothers and sisters died of alcohol related. You think that made me feel good? You think that made me feel good? All these three brothers and sisters, you think that made me feel good?
The suicide rate in Alaska is double the nation's rates. Alaska Natives are at higher risk for suicide than other Alaskans. Alaska Natives are at higher risk. Alaska Natives higher risk. And as a person sinks lower on a spiral, the signs may quite clearly indicate that the person is considering or planning a suicide.
Like many villages around Alaska, Nondalton's people have struggled with unemployment, alcoholism, depression, and suicide.
Things that keep us strong and, keeping that safeguard.
Now the people gathered in this room are ready for a change. The next step may be to introduce yourself to the people who are around you every day.
His name is Wesley, and he got his name from his grandma.
Even the people you've known your whole life.
What it is just kind of like, getting to know each other. I know we know all each other, but this is kind of like a, icebreaker type of thing. Okay, this is called a name game, and it's an icebreaker type of thing, and it's to get people to know each other. Even though they know each other now, it gets people to talking and discussing with each other and kind of open it up, make people more at ease with each other. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Good.
This is Cheryl. She likes her name. She doesn't want a different name. Her nickname is Nolgutch. Nolgutch. It means I'm looking at you. So she's, yeah, it fits her.
So he gave himself a middle name and changed his name from Nick Gonzalez to Nicky Lee, and he used that throughout his youth, and he now uses his real name that was given to him. He's named after your father? Or his grandfather.
I think we have to really ask the question, what is wellness? What is that word?
Wellness means is people that get together and try to respect one another, have a good relationship between everybody.
What is that word?
People want to be together and be happy and socialize in a clean, healthy environment, and share their pains and joys with each other. And that to me is wellness.
What is wellness? What is that? What is that? What is that word?
The way we live, the way we're raising our kids.
What is that word?
If you don't feel good about yourself, how can you feel good about somebody else?
Ask the question, what is wellness? What is wellness?
Being able to do things in like a respectful fashion, and we have respect for one another.
If everybody feels good about themselves, you shouldn't have no anger, no alcoholism, no drug addiction. The reason why a lot of people drink is because they're really not sure of themselves.
I'm going to talk about alcoholism. I'm not going to mention any name. I'm going to talk about mostly about myself, how my life was changed. I'm Andrew Balluta. I'm originally from here, and I'm an alcoholic. I had a tough time with alcoholism. I started drinking where I never could quit. In front of my children, I had a tough time with my son. He began to drink just like I did. And he had a heck of a time to come over it. Myself, I started drinking when I started drinking heavy after my first wife had left me and went off someplace else. I was trying to drink my sorrows away, my problems. I got big problems, I got my kids, myself. I'm there with them by myself. So I go and drink thinking that, well, I'm going to drink and make myself happy. But that didn't work. That never worked. It never worked for anybody. After I sober up, problems was bigger than when I first started. That's the way the life changed from being alcoholic. I know, because I've been there. I was a total drunk. That's me. I drank, starting in the evening, wake up in the morning, what I'm looking for, another drink. I used to sit in the bars from morning when it opened up until early in the mornings when it closed up. You think I thought that was fun at the time, but no, it wasn't. And that for years before I realized what I'm doing to myself, to my body. I wasn't doing myself any good. Right now, I can see in here, I can say to my own people right now, that anytime, I used to be that way too, very much so. Every time somebody's going to start talking about alcoholism, I turn my back and go the other way. Of course, I always felt that it's nobody's business what I'm doing. It's my own business, it's my life. Well, it don't work like that. It leads to a big problem. I know, because my problems were very big until I realized that I'm hurting myself, not only myself, my children, my friends, my people. I was hurting everybody. Just for me drinking. That's what alcohol does to a person. And I'm not afraid to talk about it. If I didn't talk about it now, it built inside of me, and it just builds up a big problem for myself. So I'd rather stand here and talk to people about it, and talk about my life, what alcohol can do to a person.
Wait, look, I got this going this way. Who's doing passing the fish out?
It's dinner time at the conference, and looking around, it might not be obvious how respect is being taught. But look more closely, and you'll see it's all around. The youth here are helping prepare the meal and serve it to the elders. And this is just one way the people in Nondalton are bridging the gap between the youth and the elders.
It's just good to see the youth, the elders, the middle-aged adults come together as a whole.
Oh, I think the elders they keep our feet on the ground to realize where we are, and what we're doing.
One topic that came up over and over again in Nondalton was know who you are and where you come from. In Nondalton's case, a little piece of their history came from an unexpected source.
Based on the work the National Park Service has done at the Kejik National Historic Landmark, which
the Dena'ina people have lived in this area for thousands of years. An archaeologist from the National Park Service even came to the Wellness Conference to speak about some of the things they are finding at old village sites in the area.
Way, Moose Creek, Kiefer Creek, and Mosquito. That's considered at this point the ancestral lands of the Dena'ina people on the Mulchatna. So Pete, old man Fija Del Kitty, and his wife, I think Olga, and then is that Mary Balluta? I believe so. And this is at Old Nondalton, and they were from the Mulchatna villages as well.
But finding your roots goes beyond where people lived. It's also about how they lived.
That's a traditional way to do it, is you went around the village and you talked to the people and you told them that they were doing wrong, and you brought them in front of the council and you brought them in front of the village, and you made them stand up to their wrongdoings in front of everybody, and then you reprimand them, and then you bring them back in. Then everybody is in support of them, that they forget it right then and there, and then they turn around and make them happy and welcome them back, and they hopefully bring them back into the community where they're not doing anything anything wrong. That's a traditional way of resolving problems. This game that they're playing is called Hamga. It's a traditional game. It's a game of skill, and they're played by throwing those discs, usually made of birch. And the object is to land on the skin and as close to the dock as you can. Whichever guy lands closest to it gets a stick, and it's usually with played on beaver skin where discs don't slide very much. So with this caribou skin, it slides a lot more, and it's a little harder to land. It's over hundreds of years old. It's a traditional game.
Well, they call it flat game. It's sort of a Indian game they played every, especially when it's freezing up. They got nothing else to do but wait for freezing. Well, they play that game during the day. And in the springtime, during the breakup time, they have no place to go because the ice is breaking up, and they're waiting for boating or canoeing. They play that game to pass time away.
But my elders that if there's no native song sung in that village, the village is gone. It's dead. And in Southeast, we almost lost our native ways because of the churches and the missionaries that first came to our area. And we lost a lot, but we saved a lot. Another way you can see wellness is that they have a dance group.
With that, I'd like to welcome our Nondalton Dance group.
AFN was my actually first time performing with the dance group in 6 years. You can say I'm getting in touch with my native side.
The people of Nondalton are willing to look inside. They are willing to see their imperfections. They are willing to talk. One weekend is nothing compared to the centuries the Dena'ina have walked this land. It's hard to measure the impact of 2 days on the health of a village, but there is no doubt these are changed people. They have met each other, exchanged laughter and tears.
You think that made you feel good?
This thing they call wellness has many definitions. It is something that may not be easy to find, but Nondalton has found the path. Before we leave today, I'd like to thank all the good people in Nondalton, Alaska, for inviting us to their wellness conference. Thank you, AFN, for also helping make this program possible. Join us again next week for more fabulous programs. God bless every single one of you, and thank you for joining us for Heartbeat Alaska. Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, wait. What do you want us to start?
Go ahead. No, two-step, whatever.
To purchase this program, ask for a copy of Heartbeat number 121302. Heartbeat number 121302.
And send your check or money order to Jeannie Green Productions, 6216 Old Seward Highway, Anchorage, Alaska, 99518. Or give us a call, 907-563-7440.